Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Forton for MichiganMatters.org. Today is early August, the 9th, I believe. The 7th, I believe. You can tell these are not recorded. Anyway, today I'd like to briefly talk about a couple of important subjects. One of them is the great Republican Senator John Thune from South Dakota. He is the Senate Majority Leader. And he, last week, was blocking President Trump's ability to do recess appointments. Recess appointments are in the Constitution, and there's ways in which it's done. It's done during a Senate recess. In other words, the president can legally and legitimately appoint people to federal positions without Senate approval during recess. So he was going to prevent that. He still might be. I think there might have been a certain amount of outrage over it because today in the headline it said Senator Thune considers granting Trump recess appointment powers. It's the Constitution of the United States grants the President of the United States recess appointment powers, not the senator. However, again, we have another example, and we're going to harp on this forever because the mission statement of MichiganMatters.org is to push Trump's agenda in Michigan through all levels of government. Because Michigan has become a socialist state, and we want to return it to the people like it ought to be. Anyway, so I'm looking up things today in the internet, and I'm looking up he's the senator of one of the two senators from South Dakota, actually. And I looked up the 2024 election in South Dakota, and I can't help but, again, the word mandate comes to mind. South Dakota elected President Trump at 63.4%. So South Dakota is one of the states that really gave him a mandate big time. And in so doing, they told their fabulous Republican senator the same thing. They want change. They want Donald Trump's change. They want his agenda passed. And Mr. Thune should be doing everything possible to make sure it gets through the Senate. Instead, our Senate Majority Leader and our House Majority Leader just drag their feet. They talk the talk. Oh, we're all for Trump. We're all for Trump. No, they're not. They're dragging their feet, trying to slow down his agenda in the hope of losing the midterm and putting an end to it. They consider him a bump in the road. We get past and we can get back to normal. Anyway, I wanted to really let you know about that. We're going to keep an eye on Senator Thune and what all happens. And one more thing about that subject, I looked up these figures. Starting with Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan had 243 recess appointments. Then G.H.W. Bush, the New World Order Bush, the one that read my lips, no new tax Bush. Remember that guy? He had 77, much less because he was only president for 4 years. After the people discovered that he was not going to continue Reagan's plans, they puked him out real quick. Then came Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton had 243 recess appointments. Obama had 32, which I find interesting. I don't know why it was only 32. But then King George II, he had 171. Biden, interestingly enough, of course, I did not have much time before this podcast. I could not find how many he did. And it's got to be out there, but I'm sure he had some. Anyway, every president has done it. It's in the Constitution. It's perfectly fine. But a Republican-led Senate with a Republican Senate Majority Leader somehow just wants to deny President Trump with a national mandate, deny his ability to do recess appointments. I think it's outrageous. I think it's disgusting. And these people are not what they pretend to be. They're not. And I think as the months and year goes by, We're going to learn more and more about some of these Republicans. We really are. The second thing I'd like to mention is something I just discovered yesterday, day before. In Comstock Township, Michigan, that's western Michigan, southwestern, I believe, they are trying to install, they got a moratorium till the end of the year. The people got together and really fought this. We can stop things if we get together. But they have a 76-acre plot in which they want to build a battery storage facility for wind and solar and all this stuff. The idea, the concept is that you can store electricity if you have access, and then you can release it when you're low. Sounds really good on the surface. However, wind and solar will not power Michigan. The goal by this socialist governor and the socialist Democrats is that Michigan will be all green powered by, I think, 2030. There's a date out there. I forget what it is. It's not going to happen. This garbage does not work enough to power a state. It doesn't. And with this AI thing coming up, we're told over and over by everybody that we need a lot more electricity. So these battery storage facilities, I watched local people talking about it on the internet, and a large group of them got together. Now, this is a rural area. The 76 acres is next door to a school, an existing school, and another school is going to be built next door. In fact, they said it's in the process of being built. The ground already had groundbreaking and everything, and it's being built right now. They mentioned these battery facilities catching fire around the country. They mentioned one in Arizona. They mentioned one in Texas. They mentioned one in a town outside of San Diego, and it is, I got the name here, just a second. It's a Mesa, something Mesa, California. I want to give it to you so you can look it up. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Otay, Mesa, M-E-S-A. Otay Mesa, California, which I understand is not far outside of San Diego. It burned for 13 days. They can't put these things out. So all of them that have burned a long time. Big, black, billowing chemical smoke. And the one in this Mesa, they evacuated 500 businesses. They didn't mention how many homes, but evacuated for 13 days with nothing but environmental disaster, no way of putting it out. It just burns out. And these people are environmentalists. This governor in Michigan is an environmentalist. No, she's a communist. That's what she is. If you can get your head wrapped around this Democrat Party, and if you can entertain the idea that their goal is the absolute destruction of the United States of America, if you can entertain that thought, everything they do makes perfect sense. This solar power, this green energy religion that they have, destroying a nation that has clean, burning natural gas. We've got hundreds of years of supply of natural gas that burns clean, no environmental hazards. If something caught fire, they can put it out, all this kind of thing. Oh no, they want to ban all that. And who's paying for this stuff? Who's paying for these battery facilities? They look like the shipping crates, those great big metal shipping crates. That's what they look like, and they're all stacked up. You can find pictures of it on the internet. They're just rows of them, side by side, in columns, and they all contain lithium batteries. If one catches on fire, you can't put it out, so it's going to spread. So, like in the case of Comstock Township, in this rural area, the one gentleman said, if I'm thrown off my land for a week while a fire burns and it's all destroying everything, who feeds my animals? Who takes care of my farm? These things are designed to destroy. They're designed to disrupt. This is all planned. Nobody can be this stupid, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody. This is planned destruction. This is planned chaos. It's planned to keep our minds spinning from subject to subject and issue to issue. So where's the money going? Where's the money coming from for all this? Coming from us. Now, I don't know about you. I spoke to one person today about this, but I'd like to know from you. What's your last electric bill been? Now, speaking for myself, I haven't looked at the history of my bills, but last month's bill was $95 for my electricity. I live in a typical ranch, 1,800 square feet, and the electric bill was $95. This month, it's $168. Nothing's changed. I did what most people do. Now, my whole house is not LED lights, but the ones we use the most have all been switched out and that kind of thing. Where's our savings, ladies and gentlemen? We're living in a country where our electricity should be coming from coal. It should be coming from natural gas. And our electric bills should be about $30 a month. That's what should be going on here. But instead, they're spiking it all up, and our money is buying the property, destroying communities, putting in these battery things that destroy us all. It affects us all. I live here in Southeast Michigan. If Comstock burns with that black smoke and toxic crap in the air, they're west of us. They're going to blow this way, right? That's kind of a self-centered thing. But the fact is, what I'm trying to say is this garbage affects all of us, ladies and gentlemen. We're all paying for the destruction of Comstock Township, or putting them in real danger. And what about their water wells? It's a rural area. What about that? What about their water? We had a great big stink in Flint a few years ago about water. It doesn't matter in rural areas for farmers and people living in them areas. Ladies and gentlemen, this communist governor must be replaced. Michigan must have a Republican governor, and we're going to. We're going to win the House, we're going to win the Senate, but we have to win it with people who are actually going to do something for a change. Michigan has a history of getting the Republicans in there, and then they twiddle their thumbs for 2 years and do very little, if anything. Very little of reversing what was done to them by the socialists. So we need to study, all of us, the people running for governor, and we have to really try to determine the best we can. It's hard to tell what's in a person's heart, but we need a real American to be a governor of the state of Michigan. We need somebody that is friendly towards Trump's agenda, because we need a governor that's going to do those type of things in this state. We need to reverse this green energy garbage. We got to get rid of these Chinese-made windmills and all this garbage that nobody can do anything with. They cost an arm and a leg. They don't reduce our energy costs. They put people in danger. They're unsightly. This green new religion is not environmental. No real environmentalists would support this kind of thing. They're communists. That's what they are, not environmentalists. Anyway, a few announcements, if I may, is our next coffee hour will be on August 12th at the office at 399 Garfield, Clinton Township, at noon to 2. It's pretty well attended. People come and they just have coffee and talk about anything. Sometimes a person running for office will stop by and say hello and talk for a couple of minutes or whatever. So we don't have there's nothing really orchestrated about it. And Elizabeth does a wonderful job with it. So it will be noon, August 12th. Now, the next thing after that, Tuesday, August 19, we're having our second Euchre night, which was very successful a month ago. And that's going to be 6 p.m., August 19, same location. The ticket price is $25 for that. And it's going to include food and a lot of fun. And so that's going to be a very pleasant, fun time. Then on the 23rd is very important, 23rd of August, is the big, beautiful delegate social. And that's going to be at Shelby Gardens. And you can get the more details on our website, michiganmatters.org. And that's 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's free. There's pizza and salad provided. And we got some great speakers. We have a potential governor candidate, Kevin Rinke. Bernadette Smith is the co-chair of the Michigan Republican Party. We have Kevin Kajewski. He is a candidate, an announced candidate for Attorney General, a very fantastic candidate, by the way. He will be speaking. And then Monica Utoma, she is with the Great Education Initiative. She's a possible candidate for Secretary of State. Anthony Forlini, the Macomb County Clerk, he will be there. He's a possible candidate for Secretary of State. And Brian Pennebecker, Auto Workers for Trump, he will also be speaking there. So that's going to be a really good event. That's August 23rd. It's a Saturday at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now, our website, again, is michiganmatters.org. You can go to it for more details on most of these things. If you want to contact us, it's communications@michiganmatters.org. And our phone number is 586-349-0245. Also on the website, there's a donate button. If you feel so inclined to be a real blessing for a small donation, you can do that on the website if you would. Thank you very much. Pray for America. And let's pray for Comstock Township. Something I forgot to mention is they are putting together, they have so far about 15 or 17 townships who are united, and they're thinking of doing something about these state law that's allowing all this garbage. It's all about property rights, ladies and gentlemen. The state can move into your area and tell you that something like that's going next door to you. They have no right to do that. And that law should be declared unconstitutional. But of course, we have a Democrat legislature that they call a Supreme Court in Michigan, and that's not going to happen. So we got to find other ways to fight it. But God bless all of you, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.